Hello and welcome to this episode of Rick's Garage. Today it is all about polybushes, but not just polybushes, but squeaking polybushes. See you in a minute. So yes, welcome to this episode of Rick's Garage. As I say, this is all about polybushes and what I do to prevent them from squeaking. Now, this video has been requested time and time again by my viewers. Sorry it has taken me so long, but you know, better late than never, right? So yes, a lot of you have seen a couple of my previous videos and I've been inundated with messages through all different avenues, email, the comment section, on Instagram, asking, Rick, why have you used PTFE with your polybushes? Well, you know, I didn't think this was any kind of a secret, but as it turns out, you know, there's still a lot of people completely unaware of this. Now, yes, do your polybushes sound anything like this? So yeah, a common thing with polybushes over a long period of time, eventually what they may do is start squeaking. It is a very common problem. I see lots of people doing all kinds of things online to try and prevent it, spraying them with lubricant, even some people drilling through the actual suspension arm and trying to inject more grease into them, which is just absolutely ridiculous. There is one thing which does work for good and will stop your polybushes from squeaking. Let me share it with you. Now, I know that polybushes are a bit of a controversial or hot topic depending on what make and model car you have got, especially with mine, the Alfa Romeo, the GTV. A lot of people rate these, a lot of people hate them, but that is not what this video is about, guys. I hope you can appreciate that. This is all about polybushes and how to prevent them from squeaking. So yes, over time, polybushes, the problem is as good as they are, especially if you daily drive your car and you drive it through winter, over time, eventually they will, or should I say, they may start squeaking. It is a very common issue. I know lots of you are thinking, well, you know, my bushes have been absolutely fine. Well, you know, a lot of people will be fine, but you know, this is a very common issue for especially daily driven cars using polybushes. So what is the cure, or better still, what is the preventative? Well, quite simply, it is this stuff, which is Teflon tape or PTFE or thread sealing tape. It costs 25p, absolutely cheap as chips. So yes, you may be thinking, do I really need to bother with this stuff? Well, my car isn't even daily driven, it's a fair weather car, but regardless of that, I have still fitted this stuff because my motto with many things is quite simple. I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Now, I've been using polybushes or fitting polybushes to my cars for the past 10 to 15 years, both on daily driven cars and cars just for summer, and I have never had a bush squeak on me yet, and I have always used this stuff. Now, I've actually removed the rear lower control arm from my GTV to make this video, so I hope you guys appreciate it. But to be fair, it's not a difficult job, very easy to be honest. So what I'm going to do now for you is actually remove one of my bushes. I'm going to start from scratch with it, and I'm going to show you exactly how to apply it. So let's get on with that. Okay guys, so I've actually removed one of my bushes now. As you can see, we're starting from scratch. You've got the two halves of the polybush and you've got the stainless steel sleeve that goes through the centre. Now what I've also got is the usual supplied grease that you get with bushes, and I've also got the PTFE tape. Now it is important how you apply the PTFE to these. There is a technique to doing it, which I'm going to show you. Now the first thing that you do is get a very tiny amount of grease, and you want to put it around the bush first. Now what that does is not only gives it a little bit of lubrication, but it also helps the PTFE tape to stick and not come away. Next, what you want to do is get your PTFE. Now what you don't want to do is wrap this so much so that it doesn't actually press in, and what you want to do is start with it overlapping the edge. So the idea being is when you start pressing that in or pushing that into the arm, it doesn't come away. Try and keep the PTFE straight. That is literally all you need. Snap it off, and you don't need to keep wrapping it, otherwise it's going to be too tight and you risk pulling the PTFE away from the bush as you put it in. Now before you press it in, of course, what you want to do first is put some of the supplied grease over that. Go in the direction of the tape. Now you guys probably won't believe how hard wearing PTFE actually is. It's brilliant stuff. What you want to do is when you're pushing it in, is you need to give it a little bit of a twist inside the arm. Now bear in mind the direction of the PTFE is going this way, so when you're pushing it in you want to turn it that way against the direction of the PTFE to reduce the risk of it pulling away, if you understand what I mean. So we're simply going to give it a little push at the same time as giving it a bit of a twist, and that is absolutely spot on. You can even see where the PTFE was over the shoulder of the bush, it's forced it over. So that is the first one in. Let's do the other half. Remember again which direction your tape is going in. On this one it's going that way, so we're going to rotate the bush that way. I hope I'm explaining myself clearly here, guys. There you go. So that is the bushes actually in. Wipe off a bit of excess grease there. Okay guys, now for the stainless insert. Once again, just a tiny, when I say tiny, you can see how very little I've got there. Tiny amount on the stainless insert. Don't worry, once the Teflon tape is on, we're going to apply a lot more grease than that. Now the secret when you're wrapping the stainless insert is to keep tension on it, and you want a little bit of overlap. You also want to start over the end of the stainless insert, just like you did with the bushes. So yeah, keep a good amount of tension on it, like so. And you also want a bit of overlap as you go around. Most important thing with the stainless inserts, guys, is keep tension on it. You want it on there tight to avoid it shifting when you press it inside the bush. And then when you come to the end, once again, finish with it overlapping or going over the end of the stainless insert. Okay, so that is on, nice and neat. The most important thing when you're pressing in the stainless insert is make note of the direction that you've wrapped it. Now before you press it in, obviously the last thing you need to do is apply liberally your grease. Once again, when you're spreading your grease on, it helps to remember the direction of your tape. Now you don't have to use the supplied grease, you could use marine grease or something like that. Now what you could also do before you press this in is apply some grease inside the bushes as well. So a little bit of grease on the inside. Okay, so we've got some grease in the bushes as well, so the next thing to do is press in the stainless insert and then we're done. Now when pressing in these inserts, guys, with poly bushes, advice is your best friend. Again, make a mental note of which direction your tape is going in. And then as you're winding it in, all you should be able to see is maybe a bit of the grease squelching out. But you will find that you'll have absolutely no Teflon tape that has gathered on the end. And there you go, guys, remove it from the vise, and there you'll see, nice and clean. Now if that Teflon tape had shifted, or if all of it had shifted, you'll find a big collection of it on the end, but what you should see is exactly what I've got here, just a little bit on the end, which is where you had it overlapped. Same on the other side, and that is pretty much done. Wipe off your excess. So yeah, nice, simple, easy job. So there you go, guys and girls, polyurethane bushes and Teflon tape. Now you understand why I fit it. For 25p, why wouldn't you? As I say, preventative is surely better than the cure. I've been doing this for years and years and years, since day one, and I have never had a polyurethane bush squeak on me yet. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Now, as I say, it's all about the technique when you're fitting this stuff. I hope I illustrated the technique on video pretty well. I did struggle in parts, but yeah, I hope you was grasping what I was trying to do, what I was trying to explain, especially when it comes to pressing, or which way you press the insert into the bush in relation to the direction that you've wrapped the tape on it. That is very important to stop the Teflon tape from shifting. If you don't put enough tension on it, as I say, when you go to press in the stainless insert, you will notice that all the Teflon tape will be pushed back off the stainless insert, in which case you'll have to take it out and do it again. Make sure you keep tension on, make sure you press it in the right direction, so which way you've wrapped the tape. That is the most important thing. And you'll find that you've got no tape shifted at all, other than the end bit where you've wrapped it over the end of the insert. So yeah, there you go. Now again, now you know why I do this. I thought this was common knowledge, Teflon tape, but as it turns out, it seems to be a pretty well kept secret. But yeah, now you know. If you're thinking of fitting poly bushes, Teflon tape is the secret. So as always, guys, I've been Rick. This is Rick's Garage. Thank you very much for watching as always. Please do like, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already yet done so, and I shall see you guys next time. Thank you for watching as always. Bye bye.